So I was standing on Church Street at the base of the towers. I suddenly heard what sounded like rumbling, and I thought, oh no, they're flying a third plane into these buildings. And I raised my camera. Instead, I saw the building coming apart and what looked like the beginning of a mushroom cloud. When I heard that a plane had hit the World Trade Center, I knew I needed to be down there to record and document what was happening. I had covered terrorist attacks before. I was used to getting to an event as soon as possible after it occurred and photographing the aftermath. I don't think I realized in the moment that the big event hadn't quite yet happened. Somebody once told me when I was a photography student, don't look at the sunset, look at the reflection. So rather than focusing in that moment right on the towers, I turned around to see what was happening around me. There was this couple of women just looking up terrified. People were being evacuated from the towers. There were injured people that were being treated by medics. I remember sort of looking away from the camera and seeing people running and screaming. The building was actually imploding. And I saw a man roll under a vehicle at the corner, and I just dove under there after him. And once I did, I remember clutching his arm and everything just went black. This is where police inspector Dan Mullen and I eventually made our way into. We sort of scrambled out from underneath the vehicle and made our way into the really classic old school New York deli. And then I looked around and I recognized what an incredible scene there was. I saw this police officer just doubled over trying to catch his breath. It was just instinctive to document that. The only light in there was coming out of the case of cold cuts. I saw a few people coming into the deli also for shelter, and they were completely covered from head to toe in white dust. One of the first things that we did was we all grabbed bottles of water from the deli case. I remember rinsing my mouth out. It felt like I had mouthfuls of mud to get rid of. There was a young woman who was very upset and trying to make a phone call and let her family know that she's okay. She was very, very frightened. When you're working in a situation like that, you're just focused on getting the job done. And you put the emotions somewhere else to deal with later. So this was a special issue that People put out on September 24th, right here. And unbeknownst to me, somebody had taken this photo, and that is me there on the right. And this transit worker and this other official are actually evacuating from the deli after the second building fell. It doesn't feel like it's me. It does and it doesn't, you know? It was another time. I wonder about these people. How are they? Are they healthy? Are they well? Are they still alive? You know, I wonder about that young woman. She was so scared. It's nice to be in touch with Dan because at least I know he's doing well. Dan and I shared a moment underneath that vehicle that can never be forgotten, is one of the most vivid memories of my life. I think when you're in such a chaotic situation and everybody's life is at risk in that moment, you can't help but reach out to each other.